Well, the winter fishing event is here, and I gotta say, everything about this is absolutely amazing. Now, before we get into the really crazy stuff, let's just go over how this fishing works, what you need to do, and the reason why you should be doing it. So going and getting the bait is going to be pretty much the basics on it. Think of the Cappy machine and your missions inside there. Do all those things like open chests, go into the raids, everything you can think of, and this is going to allow you to go and redeem this bait. Now I started off with the ×1 a couple of times, nothing really too crazy about, and that's why I said, you know what, let me just start pumping into the ×10. The first thing you'll need to do is go and hit inside the green area, which shouldn't be really too difficult. I'd probably say 90% of the time I was getting perfect, which is that little fine line of the green there, and this is going to help you get the improved chances of getting those rare and legendary fish. Now every fish that you catch will have a weight attached to it, and every fish you catch after that is going to add up to that big pool of weight. If you look down the bottom right, you'll see your total weight already, and then the next target weight, which is going to unlock whatever is above that. Whether that's a fishing pole or the next area, you want to keep on just going and pulling these fish. Now, as far as the distance and tension, once you go and hook your fish, which will pretty much be immediately after you cast on that green meter there we're trying to hit, you'll notice that the fish is either going to be red, yellow, or green. And all this pretty much says is how much of a struggle it is to catch it at that moment. I didn't notice any difference of improving the odds if I caught it at yellow or red or green. Pretty much when it's at red, you want to kind of just hold down your finger for a couple of seconds, let it up, hold it down again. Yellow, I try to go and let it kind of creep up and reel it in, and then I let it off all the way to the end. And then finally, when you're at green, you can just hold it all the way down. But it will kind of go red, yellow, green, then back to red, and then back to yellow. So you kind of just feel it out. It'll start vibrating on you if it gets a little bit too close to the edge. If for some reason you do go past that 150 meter mark, you'll lose a fish. You can spend 50 gems to go and pretty much revive it, get another shot at it. Now I did go and buy a whole bunch of bait on this here. You can buy a max of 5,000 at a time, which is 50 bait. And I think I purchased like 20 to 25,000's worth. Now I wouldn't really say you need to go and purchase the packs to get those rods, to go and take like an Epic to an Epic Plus. All it's gonna really do is when you do get a better rod, it's gonna make your meter a little bit easier to use. So if you're kind of grabbing fish and you're using a weaker rod, you'll notice that it's gonna start at that middle point and then work its way up to the end. So in other words, you only have 50% of the area to kind of try to catch this thing. So it could be a little bit more difficult, but it doesn't really seem like this is too much of a fight. But the reason why we're doing all this is for redeeming the rewards. And for every rare fish that you get, you're gonna be noticing you're gonna be getting some of these fishing points, which we can go and exchange. And then as far as the legendary ones you can get, this is where it gets big. These are where we're gonna be getting these kingfish certificates. So some key things you really want to grab with these fishing points. Number one, the elite pack or the contract. We use these inside the legacies. You can get one of them from here. You can also get 5 things of lucky silver coins. You can redeem that 3 times, so a total of 15. And then you can also go and get these wishing scrolls, which we're going to talk about in a second. This is pretty huge out of the game, but you can buy 5 of these, giving you a total of 25. For the advanced rewards with those kingfish certificates, I want you to go down to that S grade chest, which is going to take 8 of these certificates. And this is where you can now go and get your pick to select one of these legacy heroes. Now I would go and grab one of the 4 that are in the hexagons there. And this Judgment Reaper, this is the one I'm grabbing, looks like it has the best stats for me. But I do want to say, the other ones that are squares, these are going to be separate from these kind of hexagon ones. So don't think like, oh, that one's only 20%, why would I go for that when I can get this? Let's head over to the new legacy area and brand and kind of show you what this is all about. You can see on the gear screen, if you have this unlocked, now instead of just a big giant bone like I had there before, we now have 2 slots, and whichever one you click on will take you over to this new screen. Those hexagon ones can be slotted in one of the 2 spots up top there, and then the brands are going to be the 4 slots that you see underneath. Now, the big thing on this that also got added is we can now go and just upgrade that bone, that ranger, the knight, by going and using those contracts or elite packs and a certain number of books. You can also see that I have a couple of the square ones inside the brand already posted inside their spot, and these actually came from over in this wishing tab down here, which is where we can use those envelopes that we just got from our rewards. After doing a 10 pull on these, I was kind of hit with this. Do you want to grab these magic hats, or do you want to grab this hero brand thing that you see on the other one? And if you go for the magic hats, once you go and get 180 of these, you can roll for a grand prize, which looks like it's going to be giving an option, maybe for getting one of 9 of these brand or epic hero things you see inside here. I don't know what these things are called yet, but it looks like we could be getting these. But don't run away yet. There is one other good thing that we can get from these advanced rewards, which is going to be the new weapon arcanas or statues or treasures, whatever you want to call them. If you're using one of these 7 weapons, that might be something that's a little bit more enticing to you to get 12 of these actual kingfish certificates. But for me, I think actually going for these brand things and selecting one of those heroes is giving some pretty decent stats compared to just going and throwing one of those on. I'm going to try for both myself personally, but those are kind of the big things and the reasons you want to really try to hunt down these legendary fish. So nothing really too crazy with the whole fishing thing. Once you do it once or twice, just do it on ×1 at first, but feel it out. Once you think like, okay, I got this, then go and boost it up to ×10 if you do have the bait for it. With all this stuff being added, I'm sure we got a lot more guides we're gonna be bringing you over the next couple of days, but this will sum it up for the fish portion of it here. If you guys are sitting there wondering about advanced mounts and wanna know how good Diego is, take a look at this video right here. Thanks for watching, and remember, I pick my butt.